A wonderful evening to you. This is Prime Time News on MITV Plus. I am Precious Aboigbe. Here are top stories for tonight. Federal government denies allegations of hidden spending, defense revenue management. Police confirm rescue of 13 remaining Benue kidnap victims. On the foreign scene, U.S. negotiators to return to Pakistan for talks as Trump repeats threat to Iran's infrastructure. And in sports, Bayern München fights back against Stuttgart to win Bundesliga for 35th time. And now the news in detail. The Federal Ministry of Finance has dismissed reports alleging hidden spending and diversion of Federation revenue, describing them as a misinterpretation of findings from the World Bank Nigeria Development Updates. In a statement signed by the Minister of State for Finance, Taiwo Oyedele, the ministry clarified that deductions by the Federal Account Allocation Committee (FAC) are legitimate fiscal transactions, including statutory transfers, security spending, and allocations to states, not missing or diverted funds as claimed. The ministry noted the World Bank report presenting a more positive outlook, highlighting broader economic growth, declining inflation, improved foreign reserves, and a stronger debt position. The federal government further reaffirmed its commitment to fiscal discipline, transparency, and ongoing reforms, urging the media and stakeholders to avoid misleading interpretations that could undermine public confidence in the economy. The Senate Committee on Public Accounts has issued a two-week ultimatum to the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) to account for an alleged 210 trillion naira flagged in audit reports spanning 2017 to 2023. The committee specifically declared that the Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPCL, Engineer Bayo Julari, should lead the immediate past GCU, Mele Kyari, former Chief Financial Officer, Omar Hajier, Dr. Bala Wunti, and external auditors of the National Oil Company to it on the said date unfailingly. The committee fixed April 29, 2026 for the appearance of the company's management, insisting that both current and former top officials must provide detailed explanations. Chairman of the committee, Senator Aliyu Wadada, said responses previously submitted by the oil company were unsatisfactory, stressing that Nigerians deserve full accountability. Lawmakers also warned of possible enforcement measures if the NNPCL fails to comply, as calls grow within the Senate to compel attendance and publicly disclose the disputed figures.
Did extend invitation to the members of the former management via NNPC, because we do not know, this committee does not know the new addresses of the former members of the committee. And we reiterate, the committee reiterates that we look forward to receiving
to attend the calls of members of the National Assembly for whatever reason. We are feeling so helpless in asking people to appear before this committee, and for a long time this far, the National Assembly has not taken due fit, Mr. Chairman, in making sure that it imposes its legislative powers under this constitution. And I feel personally pained that the ANPC management could not even appear when they have duly been served, acknowledge that they have been served, only for us to appear today.
I think we should publish the amount that's in dispute. That's unclear, 210 trillion. So the Nigerian people understand why this matter is important. Like you said, we are here in our capacity as representative of the people. And the amount involved are not, it's almost, if you look at the national budget, it's up to 4-year or 5-year annual budget. I think we should state the figures. So that all the parties understand that Nigerian people expect them to account for this, to explain.
Yeah, invite.
Mr. Chairman, my approach is when we invited the former management of NNPCL, we did not invite them directly. We invited them through the serving management of NNPCL, and we have information to show that they have received our letter. I mean, those I'm talking about is the current people that will give this assignment. So, Mr. Chairman, I think before we get to the level where Senator Ningi is proposing, I think that we should try one more thing. And that one more thing is to give NNPCL another invitation for 2 weeks to come with these people. And we also advertise in 2 national dailies, inviting those people direct ourselves. Because now
Lawmakers from the National Assembly have raised concerns over technical disruptions affecting the ongoing 2026 UTME conducted by the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board following oversight visits to CVT centers in Abuja. The development followed an oversight inspection conducted by the House and Senate committees on tertiary education, who visited selected computer-based test centers in Abuja, namely Government Secondary School, Tundunwada, and Sarudin International School, Maitama, and Good Success CBT Center to assess the ongoing exercise. Comfort Olayinka reports.
House Committee Chairman on Tertiary Education, Honorable Abonsizibe Ofoji, expressed dissatisfaction over delays and operational lapses at Good Success Center, as candidates and parents lamented waiting for hours without clear communication. He emphasized that no student should be denied the opportunity to sit for the examination due to system failures.
Candidates who have registered for this exercise will be given the opportunity to sit for this exercise, no matter what the problem is. Some of these CBT centers are not our own. We have just barely about 50 centers. And because they are private concern, they have their own peculiar problem. But the most important thing is that at each particular time, we have backwards, we have plans that if there are challenges, these are the solutions that will come in. As they are now, I'm just coming because I was following behind. I don't know what the issues are, but I'm sure they're working behind the wall to ensure that this candidate will fit it. You wrote the exam yesterday? Yes. Successfully, 2 sessions.
Go simultaneously. And again,
Is there any verification?
I'm coming. The exam will also go simultaneously. And again, those who come late, you always say, oh, no, you have come late, you will not write the exam. If you have all these, if you have been able to factor in all these areas you are saying that has nothing to do with the exam, leakage and water, why somebody who have genuine cases of coming late because of some of them had accident, their car had accident, some of them because of far distance where they are coming from, and yet the person will be prevented from writing the exam. Sorry, sir.
He instructed them and told them to, as a matter of urgency, to take a definitive action so that the student will write the exam. And at the same time, we are going to review all the activities in INEC and JAM so that we can make sure that these things has not happened again. All the gaps, all the lapses were carried and addressed by the committee.
As the examination continues across the country, stakeholders are urging swift corrective measures to restore confidence and ensure a seamless process for millions of candidates.
Still on education, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board (JAM) has apologized for failing to release the latest batch of Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination results as scheduled, assuring candidates the results will be made public later on Sunday. The board had earlier indicated that results for candidates who sat the exam on Friday, April 17, 2026, will be released on Saturday. However, the delay triggered frustration among candidates awaiting their scores. In a statement issued on Sunday, JAM spokesperson Fabian Benjamin explained that the setback was due to the temporary absence of the board's chief executive, who was engaged in official duties. He assured candidates that the situation had been resolved and that the results would be released before the end of the day. The board also apologized to candidates who stayed up late expecting the release, thanking them for their patience and understanding. Moving on, operatives of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps NSCDC Lagos State Command have uncovered and dismantled the baby factory during an overnight operation carried out this past week at Okoju Ilado Road 1, Zone 1 area of Olorinda Badagry. The operation, according to the command, aligns with the renewed directive of the Commandant General of the NSCDC, Ahmed Abubakar Audi, urging state commands to deploy technology-driven intelligence in tackling criminal activities nationwide. The Lagos State Commandant of the Corps, Adidotun Keshinro, who disclosed this while addressing journalists on Friday in Badagry, revealed that the raid led to the arrest of two suspects allegedly linked to the illegal operation, while 28 victims were rescued from the facility. Investigations revealed that the suspects lured victims through a Facebook account used to recruit pregnant women willing to sell their babies to interested buyers after delivery for sums ranging from 500,000 naira and 1 million naira.
We are working with, already when we made the arrest, we have contacted the NAPTIP in order for them to have the victims for their health care and other responsibility that the organization will be carrying out on these victims. Then the suspect, when we conclude our investigation, the suspect will be charged to court. There are 18 victims who are fully pregnant, but one of them had miscarriage. So 17 of them are currently carrying pregnancy. And there are other babies there who are grown up, and they are also there on negotiation to be sold to interested buyers. So this is the modus operandi of operation of these suspects.
10 children and 2 suspects, making a total of 30. We want to tell the general public that NAPTIP will do diligence on this case. And for now, I can't say anything until due diligence is done.
Not how long I've joined them. It was early this year when we moved to this place. This January this year. That was when we moved here, and that was when all these people came. And it was through Facebook that they posted that they want to give out their child for adoption. Not that we forced them or we called them to come and get pregnant. No, they were already pregnant on their own and decided to give it out for adoption or abort. So in order for us to be safe, because of that agreement that they give their consent and everything. So I was like, they are helping a family, not a big crime like that. So it's not that I really understand that it's a very big issue.
Nigeria is recording renewed progress in tackling the challenge of out-of-school children as targeted interventions in basic education begin to yield measurable results. Correspondent Miriam Inakiman completes the report.
Executive Secretary of the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, Aisha Gaba, says over 700,000 out-of-school children have been returned to classrooms nationwide as efforts intensify to bridge the country's education gap. She made this known at the flag-off ceremony for the distribution of instructional materials to public basic schools in the Federal Capital Territory, held at Model Senior Secondary School, Maitama, Abuja. Gaba explained that the intervention implemented in collaboration with state universal basic education boards has also led to the distribution of over 7 million core textbooks and other learning materials. She added that targeted support has been extended to integrated Quranic and Sangaya education centers to promote inclusive learning. The mandate secretary for education in the FCT, Danlami Ayu, who represented the Minister of FCT, Nyesom Wike, noted that the administration has embarked on the renovation of 108 schools across the 6 area council According to him, 22 of the projects have already been completed alongside the sustained payment for counterparts funding for UBEC programs.
Working together with our partners, particularly at the grassroots level, we have worked together to bring back 700,000 out of school back to school. This is a big milestone. Ladies and gentlemen, today's event represents a continuation of the nationwide effort, reinforced by the Renewed Hope Agenda initiative of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which places the Nigerian child at the heart of the national agenda.
The Honourable Minister has approved the renovation of about 108 primary, junior and senior secondary school in FCT across 6 area council of FCT. As now, we have about 22 schools that the project completed, and the remaining, the project is ongoing.
Earlier, the acting chairman of the FCT Universal Basic Education Board, Florence Wenigiame, said the initiative is designed to strengthen access to education and encourage more out-of-school children to return to the classroom. She added that the distribution of materials will cover all area councils in the territory.
Why FCT Universal Basic Education Board, we make sure we strengthen this and make sure that our children, both the children that are out of school, that we are trying to encourage them to come back to school, we are going to distribute these instructional materials to them in order to encourage them.
The beneficiary schools span the 6 area councils of Abarji, Amak, Buhari, Gwagalada, Kuje, and Kwali, covering primary and junior secondary institutions, including LEA primary schools, modern primary schools, and junior secondary schools in various communities across the FCT. From Abuja, Marian Inahimion, MITV Plus News.
All 18 passengers abducted from a Benue Links bus on April 15, 2026 have been rescued, with authorities confirming their safety after a joint security operation. The Commissioner of Police in Benue State, Ifeanyi Eminari, disclosed this on Sunday while presenting 15 of the rescued victims to Governor Hyacinth Halia at the government house in Makurdi. Eminari said the operation carried out with other security agencies led to the successful recovery of all the victims. The Commissioner of Police also announced the arrest of 7 suspects linked to the incident, describing it as a breakthrough in the investigation. He said that the arrests were made through intelligence-led efforts, with the suspects currently in custody. The Ogun State Police Command says it is screening the 146 suspects arrested in a multi-agency raid of criminal hideouts in the Shagamu area of their ascertain their individual level of involvement in the alleged crime for which they were arrested. The command's public relations officer, Babasheyi Olusheyi, disclosed this in a statement issued on Tuesday. Olusheyi noted that the suspects were arrested following intelligence that some suspected criminals were preparing to pose a threat to the public. He stated that following the intelligence, a special operation was launched in collaboration with other security agencies and community leaders.
Further helped our operations, which led to the arrest of these 146 suspects that are in custody of the Shagam area command at this point. And I can tell you, and all suspects are currently undergoing screening. And after this screening, they will find the culpability of those who are culpable and release those who have no culpability to the shorties that are presented to the Nigerian police. And after this, the culpable ones are taken to the State Criminal Investigation Department for further investigation and prosecution. And the Commissioner of Police, through this briefing, has read the Riot Act to all criminal elements and troublemakers within Shagam and its environs. Let it be known that the command is fully prepared and strategically positioned and operationally equipped to deal decisively with any act of unlawfulness or lawlessness, and there will be no hiding place for individuals or groups with intentions to undermine public peace, as the full force of the law will be brought to bear on offenders. The command remains resolute in sustaining the gains recorded under Operation Keep Shagam Safe through this proactive intelligence-led policing and strategic collaboration with the community and relevant stakeholders.
A statement by the Renewed Hope ambassadors Ondo State chapter says Nigeria foreign reserves are strengthening while investor confidence is gradually returning under the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, according to the statement signed by the group's director of media and publicity, Kenneth Odushola Stevenson. Portfolio investors who were previously cautious are beginning to re-engage as Nigeria's sovereign risk profile shows signs of improvement. The group attributes the shift to consistent policy direction and active economic diplomacy, but warns that confidence must be sustained through transparency, predictability, and disciplined governance. It also noted that ongoing reforms are restructuring key sectors, including oil and gas operations, fiscal and monetary policies, and infrastructure development, with major projects like the Badagry-Sokoto Superhighway and Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway highlighted as critical to economic integration. However, the group stresses that the real test of the reforms lies in the impact on citizens, urging the government to translate macroeconomic gains into tangible improvements in living conditions while promising further sector-by-sector assessments in future reports. Now on the foreign scene, the governments of the Democratic Republic of the Congo DRC and rival M23 rebels have agreed to ease aid deliveries and release prisoners as mediators push to resolve a years-long conflict that has persisted despite multiple peace deals. The two sides announced the measures in a joint statement shared by the U.S. Department of State on Saturday, following 5 days of talks in Switzerland. Both sides also pledged not to target civilians and to facilitate medical care for the wounded and sick, as they noted progress on a protocol for humanitarian access and judicial protections. They agreed to release prisoners within 10 days as part of efforts to continue building confidence. And US President Donald Trump announces his representatives headed by Vance will return to Pakistan on Monday for talks. He renews his threat to destroy every power plant and bridge in Iran if it does not agree a deal. The Iranian leadership is yet to confirm if it will send representatives to Islamabad. Trump threatens to strike Iranian power plants and bridges if a deal is not reached. The latest in a series of threats linked to the negotiations shots fired at vessels in the Strait of Hormuz on Saturday are a violation of the ceasefire agreement, the U.S. president says. Iran has also accused the U.S. of breaching the truce by blockading its ports. Ships have again come to a standstill around the strait after Iran closed it again. A marine traffic website shows no boats are crossing so far on Sunday. Authorities say 8 children have been killed in a domestic disturbance in Louisiana, multiple news outlets reported. The shooting occurred around 6 a.m. on Sunday in Shreveport, according to Police Chief Wayne Smith. The victims range in age from 1 to about 14 years old. He said a total of 10 people were shot. Officials said they were still gathering details about the crime scene, which extended across 3 locations. Smith said the suspected shooter was fatally shot by police during a vehicle chase. Some of the children shot were related to the suspect, Smith said. Louisiana State Police say their detectives have been asked by Shreveport Police to investigate. In a statement, State police say no officers were harmed in the shooting that involved an officer after a police pursuit into Borsio City on Sunday morning. And in sport, Manchester City have cut Arsenal's lead at the top of the Premier League down to 3 points. Ryan Cherky and Erling Haaland got the goals for the hosts, either side of Kai Havertz's equalizer in a massive victory at the Etihad this evening. Gabriel was fortunate to avoid a red card after leaning into Haaland as the pair went head-to-head in the closing stages, but was unable to affect the results. Having stolen the ball off Gianluigi Donnarumma's toes for Arsenal's equalizer, Kai Havertz missed a couple of golden opportunities for the visitors, including a free header deep into stoppage time. City travelled to Burnley on Wednesday for their game in hand, knowing that victory will take them top of the table. And in Germany, Bayern München came from behind to beat Stuttgart at the Allianz Arena and win the German Bundesliga title for a 35th time. The Bavarians, who have lost just once all season, needed only a point to clinch the crown after nearest challengers Borussia Dortmund suffered a defeat at Hoffenheim on Saturday night. The hosts responded through Rafael Guerrero 10 minutes later before on loan Chelsea forward Nicolas Jackson, deputizing for Harry Kane, puts them ahead 2 minutes after that. Alphonso Davies added the third 9 minutes before the break, improvising well to flick the ball past Alexander Nobel from inside the area after a pass from Luis Diaz. The victory seals the 13th Bundesliga title in the past 14 seasons for Bayern and keeps their hopes of winning the treble alive, with semi-finals against Bayer Leverkusen in DFB Pokal and Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League to come later this month. And that brings us to the end of our primetime news tonight. Please follow us on all our social media platforms. It's at MITV Plus on Facebook, at MITV Plus _NG on Instagram, TikTok, and X. You can also watch our programs live on YouTube at MITV Plus _NG. Please remember to click the like and subscribe button. I am Precious Eboigbe. Have a good evening.